Man, I hope one day, when Hasan is like completely fallen off, streamers can talk about, he talks about me so much. If you think I'm obsessed, oh my God. When Ethan was on a rant about me being un-American, broke me. I'm gonna video game myself if people keep chirping me like this. Ethan took a lot from Hasan. Ethan's way nicer than I am. Ethan took a lot from Hasan before he finally came back and started saying shit. Do you think that Hasan is anti-Semitic? Wow! Tell me this is not a vibe. Look at how cute this is. Look at all my little lights. How do you feel about Hasan taking random screenshots of your chat logs and showing them out of context? I don't care. I have to be careful not to like lose total narrative control, but like I think I'm a large enough figure now that Hasan can't really damage me, like more than somebody who's like my size or smaller could. So I'm not like obsessed with trying to correct the record on that as much. Like I'll just say what I've said before. Like if your goal is to find like logs of me saying edgy shit, like edgy jokes or whatever, you can just like DM me. Like if Hasan wants me to say edgy jokes, you can DM me. I'll do some live for you. You don't have to go back 5 years. I'm never mad at people for saying edgy jokes though. I'm mad at people for being actually racist or actually anti-Semitic. That's my issue. But I think I've been pretty consistent on that for like 15 years. I don't think I've ever gotten mad at somebody for saying an edgy joke. Maybe unless you're saying like, if you're saying edgy jokes in like racist or anti-Semitic communities, maybe I guess. But at that point, it's not, I don't really care about the jokes. I just care about the fact that being anti-Semitic. It is pretty crazy how much damage, man, I hope one day when Hasan is like completely fallen off, streamers can talk about, he talks about me so much. If you think I'm obsessed, oh my God. There's so many people, and it's one of the things that I can't burn anybody like telling me because obviously it would a whole lot of shit up. But he says so much to so many people, such that multiple people have like told him that it's a lot. Yeah, it's really, really, really annoying. But that plus my Twitch ban, like, obviously nuked a lot of my Twitch relationships. But like a cockroach, we survive. There's no way with your current growth, Hasan is trying whatever he can to limit you. I don't know if he's trying to limit me. Obviously he doesn't like me. And he's got like, he's got a lot of ego problems. God, I feel so bad. My prediction of him or whatever, or I pegged him 100%. I understand him perfectly. You saw those Discord logs that leaked last night where he was complaining about like what type of content he should do. And he's saying like, you guys say you want games, but you never watch the gaming streams. Like, you can tell that he wants to pivot and do other things, but he can't handle psychologically. He can't handle having the lower viewership. So he's like trapped in this mind prison of wanting to branch out and do other content, but he can't handle the rebuild. I don't know if Hasan has ever done a rebuild before. I remember having this conversation with Melina and a couple other people. One of the best things that can happen to you as a streamer is you switch up content, you lose a lot of your audience, and then you rebuild because it shows you that like you can do it and it's not the end of the world. And that's a really important psychological hurdle for a lot of streamers to overcome because a lot of streamers get super terrified when their viewership starts to slip. They think that it's never coming back. And then you doom spiral hard. Talking about the really old log streaming or something different? I think it was like, I want to say it was yesterday, right? Hold on. Dean said he would do 2v2 on TikTok Live. Oh, I actually went out to eat with Dean and Parker. When I was in LA after my episode. Yeah, they're both cool dudes. It's crazy how young they are. This is Hasan talking to his Discord. I think this was yesterday. Am I crazy? I didn't watch the Ethan stuff, but does Dan agree with Ethan now? I saw this TikTok on my FYP, For You page. Shut the fuck up. I get the break the rules. Also, I haven't fully decided not to respond or not. Shit is insane to me. People in his audience that he hasn't silenced now legit think I'm anti-Semitic terrorism lover who f***ing is afraid of responding to Ethan. Limeo. Seeing Dan respond to Ethan with, yeah, well, the CEO likes him, so I guess it pays to be friends with the CEO, when Ethan was on a rant about me being un-American, broke me. I'm gonna video game myself if people keep chirping me like this. And then I'm guessing, I don't see who he's responding to, but it sounds like something is somebody asked him about like playing different content, and he's like, I don't have time to play, man. Look at the stream every day. Look at the stream every day. Y'all chirp about gaming every day. Y'all chirp about gaming, but don't actually want to watch the games, LeMayo. It's so fucking annoying. Where's the scary game list? I'll download some, but it's not an assurance I will play. Oh my god, y'all fucking suck ass. Immediately, I will never rely on this Discord for shit. Can't believe mentally deficient losers scream record the most annoying motherfuckers on the planet every day. Literally sub 10K, proving my point, shake my head. But yeah, you can tell that like he has the, Hasan, if you're listening, I'm giving you the best career advice you'll ever get. Just eat a viewership loss and branch out into content, into other content. You can do it. You will not fail. Does he not have friends? He says he has no association with this Discord, but he's always caught venting on there. Oh, no, he vents in that Discord a ton because they're all sycophants, yeah. In terms of him having friends, I'm not actually sure. He's like, it sounds weird. It's hard to do like a diagnosis of his character because everybody will assume I'm a hater. Even though I give the best diagnoses, okay? I give people credit when credit is due, even though they never give me my credit. Started it on his own, Jesus. Hasan is legitimately probably the most clout-driven person that I have ever met in my entire life. Like unironically, like whatever you think drives him, it is like clout and networking. Like the hottest girl in the world could approach him and like tell him that she wants to fuck his brains out for like 3 days straight. And his first question is gonna be, sure, but like what's your TikTok follower count? And if she's a nobody, he won't give a fuck. Or like the most important fucking, you know, whatever, scientist, researcher, academic, or whatever could come up. And it's like, if it doesn't directly play into his clout building shit, he will say no. Like that. Or somebody could offer him like $20 million to do like a stream and then do whatever. But like if he can't find a way to network off of it or yeah, he won't. And I think his personal relationships are, a lot of that is the same. So I imagine he probably has a hard time connecting to people or building lasting friendships because especially at this point, it's pretty obvious when you look at him, like what's going on. And when the illusion has been broken, it's harder to form real friendships because now everybody's looking at you sideways. And I think, but I could be wrong. But I think this Ethan thing is probably going to fuck with him a lot because now most of the people seeing the Ethan stuff probably don't know me and Hasan's past. But as it gets brought up more, you see Hasan running through the exact same playbook, right? Wow, I don't know why this guy's talking about me. He's lying about me so much. I can't believe he would say this. Like, none of this is true. Like, he's just crazy, man. He needs to take a mental health check day. But Hasan's like done these like same patterns with a lot of people. Or not a lot of people, I guess, but at least me and Ethan. And the most annoying thing, too, is to decently nice people. Like, Ethan is a really nice guy. Ethan took a lot from Hasan. Ethan's way nicer than I am. Ethan took a lot from Hasan before he finally came back and started saying shit. I'm willing to always let bygones be bygones. I'm probably one of the least grudge-holding people in the fucking world, especially if I know if we can do content. Like, I generally won't care. I've probably forgiven more people that have, like, with me than any other streamer on the planet. So the fact that Hasan can't maintain, like, those relationships is crazy. Honestly, if he took a politics break into streaming, I'd watch. But dude is going to unironically have a freak out when you reach 1 million subs. Oh, maybe, I don't know. That stream where Ethan was sick and talking heart to heart with Hasan, but Hasan was literally just farming him for clips and laughing at him is so disgusting to look at. Yeah, it's actually, yeah. If you don't know what's going on, it's hard to see it, but like, I was gonna say is, I don't know if it's an autism thing, but to be fair, being on a set is different. Like if somebody was doing that to me and I was just like staring at stream trying to farm clips, but I don't know on set, would you like really look over at a person? I don't know, maybe. But regardless of the physical disposition, he was definitely farming chat while Ethan was like trying to have a heart-to-heart, which was pretty, yeah, ugh. Why don't you start getting more views on YouTube vids than him? What? I don't know, I'm not sure. The thing is, Hasan is like very popular in his arena, but he doesn't stray very far. I think it's because he can't handle pushback. But I mean, I could be wrong on that. Maybe there's another reason. But I don't ever hear him talk like streaming strategy or talk business. So it's hard for me to say for sure, right? Maybe he has like another reason why, but he's very popular within Twitch, but he's a very hard time branching outside of it. So he won't go on challenging podcasts or do much outside of like the communities that he's in and can exert a great deal of influence over, right? Like that's really, really, really important. He has to be able to kind of control the communities that he's in to control the perception or narrative of him. And then if he can't, he has no desire to participate. It seems to be that way, at least. That's why I said before, bro, I couldn't believe this. Oh my God. If I had Hasan's body, dude, if Hasan would have done the red pill arc, Hasan would be like the fucking, like the president of fucking Peru. He would be so famous if Hasan would have been, like, could you imagine like a progressive woke dude on like Fresh and Fit, like this 6'4" Grecian guy, like this huge guy, like just dogging on fucking Myron, and it would just be, it would be unbelievable content. It would be unbelievable content. But he couldn't do it because he can't go on places where he doesn't have control over the audiences and where he's going to get too much pushback. And it's so sad. I'm like, dude, this is your time. His frat laugh would go mega viral. Yeah, true. Yeah, that time he had Christian Walker on, that was rough. Dude, Willie Mack was rough. I feel so, that's so weird. Holy shit. Not to knock Willie Mack or anything, but like, how is Willie Mack taking on Hasan in a Israel-Palestine debate? This is how Tim Pool tanked his company. I don't know what Tim Pool spends all his time on. That's the thing, because he doesn't stream and there's very little transparency. Not that I'm not like saying like, oh, he lacks transparency, that's evil or horrible. I'm just saying that because he doesn't stream, I don't know what all of his time goes into. The problem is that it sounds like he dumps a lot of recreational time into things, and he expects that to become a money earning venture, which will never happen automatically. There are things that I dump my time into that I do because they're like hobbies, kind of. And if I can turn them into money earning ventures, that's cool. But if not, that's fine. The goal isn't to earn money. That's that's not like the primary thing. I've always said this for wage slaves, for people that do like wage labor. And then this is what I was planning on doing when I went to the casino when I was working there while going to school for music. You should have a job that allows you to power your hobbies. Like that's the goal, is you work a 9 to 5 and then you got security there, you've got good income, you can save for retirement, and then you use the money that you earned there to fund your hobbies. But it sounds to me, and again, I'm guessing because again, I don't have a lot of transparency from Tim Pool. It sounds like, and I'm not trying to be politically biased, but it sounds like Tim Pool was probably making a lot of money from that Russian payoff, and a lot of his other hobby ventures were losing a lot of money. And because he was losing money from those things, and then the Russia money shit disappeared, he had to look back and critically reevaluate his other projects, because those other projects were probably losing like a ton of. They were probably bleeding off quite a bit of money. Yeah. Damn, I have another one of these. These are nice. Don't ever. This is gonna sound cringe, but don't ever underestimate the value of good accessory stuff, like having good tripods and good C-stands and stuff. Like this, like you can see how heavy this fucking light is. Like you have to have like a literal sandbag on the other end of this C-stand to serve as like a counterbalance. Like this thing right here, this is heavy. This is heavy. Okay, it's a heavy thing. Now that it seems more and more evident that Ethan at least watches you, would you ever welcome him into orbit? I don't know. Some people just, like Asmongold is a hard one too. Some people just don't respond to me or don't chat with me. My guess is going to be that he's probably just really scared that if he were to, it would like delegitimize everything, because people would be like, oh, look, see, you really are just a destiny plant. So that's my guess, but who knows? Maybe one day when his Jewish soul is ready. Does it feel good watching Hasan's ship burn? Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of good feeling on it, sure, yeah. Although I will say the biggest issue that I have, the biggest worry or irritation I have is just that he is a radical actor that is just brainwashing like so many young people on that platform with absolutely no pushback. And then he gets into he sneaks into other communities and he tries to do it too, like that whole Nick shit. And he's done it, he did it with Ethan's audience. That's just really, 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 really gross. I don't like that. An interest in increasing the amount of mainstream media you consume. I noticed both Hasan and Vosh's main content is basically criticizing / digesting mainstream media. Maybe a little bit, but I like knowing a lot about things. And the more mainstream media we consume, like the more stuff I have to do for that, the more I the less deep reading we can do. Any regret about not pushing back against Hasan while you were on Twitch? Regret. I think we did a bit. The one thing I regret, I hate that I'm still learning all these things. I feel like at some point you should just know it all. One thing that I am never going to let people do again, I'll just perm ban for it, because it's a culture thing and you have to set the culture, is letting people call you obsessed. That's just such a great way to escape all accountability for your political opinions. I will never, ever, ever let that work. I will never, ever, ever let somebody do that again. Unless it's like genuinely like, I think in some cases it applies. Like if you're reposting constantly, like, oh, look at this like 5 retweet tweet, or look at this tweet with like 16 likes. In that case, then it's like, oh, okay, hold on, this is dumb. You're obsessing over like, this person's completely irrelevant. But for when large, huge figures, like some of the largest figures in media are like, I can't believe this guy talks about my takes so much, he's so obsessed. I'll never, ever, I'll be like, yeah, never, ever, ever gonna let that fly again. Like, no, you're a huge media figure. It's fair to cover you. Yeah. Hey, I always wondered, why do you think Hasan and Vosh never got along? They seem very similar in terms of their politics, rhetoric, and how they deal with criticism. Well, they both play by the same rules, but the unfortunate reality is they're rules that are exclusive, that are mutually exclusive. Like rule sets are good when everybody can play by the same rules and they benefit everybody. Rule sets, I think, are bad when if everybody plays by the same set of rules, it leads to destruction. So like having a rule that says you're not allowed to murder anybody is a good rule that everybody in society can be invested in the enforcement of, because murdering people is bad. You don't want people murdering anybody. But if you have a rule that says like we can steal from each other, then society is going to collapse because everybody's going to be stealing from each other all the time. It's going to be fucked. For Vosh and Hasan, oh my God, do these go on this? That would be so convenient. No, they don't. Fuck. For Vosh and Hasan, both of them have a clout sharing rule to where they don't typically give clout to people that they view as being less clouted up than them. Vosh formally expanded on this. Oh my God, the story behind this. Vosh formally expanded on this in stream when he said that he would never debate again a conservative who was a smaller audience size than him, which means that, you know, because he had like a no clout policy basically. And Hasan is basically the exact same way. Hasan won't debate or have interactions with people that he can't gain from. So because Vosh and Hasan both have this rule, Vosh will never appear on Hasan's stream because Vosh is smaller. So Hasan just views him as a threat, somebody that could potentially grow off of him. And so he'll never be on, he'll never have him on stream with him. Has Mike from PA ever been on Hasan's stream? I think he was on Hasan's stream like twice, like once or twice. But the, there's like a, I don't know if this applies to Hasan. I'm trying to think. Why doesn't Hasan like less clouded people? I think it is. So one of the unfortunate things about being a cam girl is if you do camming, it's really hard to collaborate with other people, because I think in the camming world, this applies to like Twitch girl streamers that do like GFE stuff as well. In the camming world, you tend to have really big whales that are very like easily identifiable. And one of the issues that you run into is you don't want to be streaming with another girl and then one of the whales in your audience switches over to her. People get incredibly ass-pained about that. That's one of the reasons why it is incredibly rare. I don't know if they'll ever admit this or say it publicly, but this is one of the reasons why it's incredibly rare to watch GFE Twitch streamers or cam girls ever collab with each other. They don't want to lose their whales to other girl streamers. Not girl streamers, but people that cam or do GFE stuff. I wonder if Hasan is worried about the same thing, and that's why he doesn't host people with similar political views, because I don't know why he wouldn't have people like Denims or Mike from PA on, other than there's nothing for him to gain and only potentially lose viewers to. I don't know. Did you have any weird or arbitrary rules like that when you were smaller or starting out? No, I've always been like, just because of my life, just like growing up and everything, I'm like a very not cliquey person. I've never been a cliquey person ever. I like talking to lots of different people and shit. I think being cliquey is cringe. But that was true even like in high school and shit. Unironically, he probably hates them as people because they're literally insufferable. Only the biggest losers are left simping for Hasan for attention. Maybe, I don't know. What correlates with the biggest sub growth for you? Heated debates. I think in my mind, generally what happens is you're looking for large viewership moments on the internet that you afterwards, when you have more eyes on your channel that are coming in, you convert to viewers because they look at the other content and then they stay for it. So my largest growth arc was probably like the red pill arc, but it was probably because I was already like pretty big going into the red pill arc. So like you have a big growth moment and then you do the next arc, and then you have a bigger growth moment, and then bigger and bigger. But that's just because like the size are growing too. But the yeah. I'm probably not as good at converting viewers as other people. I'm good at converting people into long-term viewers, because if you like my stuff, you're not going to find anything else like it on the internet. There's nobody else like me on the internet that is like super combative, does a ton of research, is willing to go into hostile and friendly environments, and can change up a lot. I think that's one of my greatest abilities. I can change up a lot. I can talk to a lot of different people and like have good conversations. Yeah. So usually, yeah, I don't convert as well from big growth moments. But when I do convert people, they're usually like forever fans, or not forever fans, but they stay longer than most. I feel like Hasan collabs are usually just massive normie streamers that skew generally left, not explicitly political at all, so they're susceptible to his extremist views. Yeah, and he can also try to like, the business word would be convert, the political word would be indoctrinate, but he can try to convert from those audiences as well, yeah. One thing you do really well is engage your audience and speak to your chat way more than any other streamer. Was this a conscious effort from you at the start of your streaming career? Did you develop that over time? I think it's an attitude byproduct thing. Like, I don't want to say like I'm a man of the people, but like I don't like celebrity cringe networking shit is stuff that I've just never really given a f about. I just like talking to a ton of different people. I'm not necessarily like trying to up my clout ever. So like most of my friends and people on stream and everything come from just like my audience. I think a lot of streamers will stream to their like the dirty masses, and then when they turn their stream off, they go back and they hang out with their like clouded up friends before they have to like go back. Did I have scissors out here? Oh, here. What do you think's been the reason for such a tight DGG community to form relative to other streamers? Is it mostly a product of you and the culture you develop, or the chat culture itself? I mean, I tried really hard early on to build a community. Like it was like a very explicit effort. Like I hung out a lot in my own chat. I like formed a lot of like community places. There's it's annoying. I'm trying to self-glaze us too much. But they're, broadly speaking, when you're trying to make it in a particular industry, or when you're trying to make it anywhere doing anything, you can either be original or you can ride off the back of like another popular thing. If you ride off the back of another popular thing, the advantage that you get is immediately really big growth, and you get access to a huge pre-made community that's primed to consume that type of content, right? But the issue when you do that is now you have to be in line with the majority opinion in that group, because if you deviate, they're going to abandon you. And two, when, as all groups do over time, when that group naturally kind of like recedes, you're going to lose a lot of your audience unless you converted people into like core audience members. So for my stuff, like I've always like grown on the outer perimeter of everything, right? Like initially when we did StarCraft, I wasn't like part of Team Liquid. We had to fight a lot for being featured on the website. I was never part of like the Twitch community crews. I was never part of any of the big political movements online. Like I've always kind of like fought with everybody. So the downside of that is like I have a reputation for being a bridge burner, and I've got a reputation for being a contrarian and all that, you know, whatever, because I have my own opinions on things. But the plus side of that, which like over the past few years, I've definitely finally like been reaping the big rewards of. The plus side of that is I have a community that's like completely and totally my own. I can like read an issue and I can have a take on it, and I never have to worry about, am I in line with or am I contradicting some other, you know, big streamer or some other big whatever, because I'm not like part of any large ideological movement. I don't have to worry about what Kamala thinks or what Trump thinks or what whoever Charlie Kirk said or any of that bullshit. So. Your concept of bloodletting your own community periodically is probably what led to its long-term stability. Other content creators should do that from time to time. Yeah, but the issue is that it's very, very, very hard for people to take a step back, to take steps forward. Most people will just carry on with problems. That's true actually in life as well. It's probably one of the big pieces of advice I give to people that are that have a lot of mental anguish, I guess, or issues in their life, is a lot of people will not confront problems in their life, and they'll kind of like pretend that it isn't happening, and then they'll just like keep moving forward. And I call it accumulating baggage. You're like a garbage heap rolling downhill, and at some point it's going to be a big debt that you have to pay back, and like a pile of fucking cords is going to be harder to untangle the longer you let it roll on with. But who built the chat? Was it based on something else, or is it 100% custom? The chat is it's WebSockets. It was built by, I think, StanPet. who is Serbian, Hungarian. What was he? A long time ago. I think he did the majority of the work on it. I think the reason why we built the chat was because a long time ago there was everybody was using an IRC backend. Everybody was using an IRC backend, and then the front end was just like really shitty Flash, and it was like laggy and unstable and horrible. There's nothing wrong with using IRC as a backend. I don't think IRC is incredibly stable, tried and true for a long period of time. I don't know what the stability of IRC over thousands and thousands of users, but the Flash front ends for all the chats were horrible. So I think we just ended up custom building something. Why don't we open source stuff anymore? Did we stop open sourcing everything? If we did, I probably just got really irritated that. I guess it goes back to the. Actually, I guess I have better language to describe it now, actually, because I've reflected on all this conservative shit. Existing in uneven environments is very, very annoying. Like when you're playing by one set of rules and other people are playing by another set of rules. I open sourced my project, or I made the decision to. I shouldn't say I open sourced it. I don't know how to fucking contribute. I didn't program it. But I supported the decision to open source it a long time ago because in my mind, I like the idea of contributing to like communities. Like I'm lucky enough to be a really big streamer. I'm lucky enough to be able to do this as a living, for a living. Even 10 years ago, I consider myself very, very fucking lucky. Making 100K a year streaming, I consider myself incredibly fucking lucky. So why not, like, if I'm making enough money to pay people to design shit, why not, like, feed it back into the world? This is a world that I can exist in and I can have a living in, and I'm lucky enough to be able to do it. So like, if I can make it easier for somebody else, or if I can contribute in some way, that's like super cool. The issue is that the only people that ever ended up using it, one, is they would just fork everything and never contribute, which, without getting into a whole thing, is very rude for open source work. And the second thing is all of the people that were using it were people that were actively trying to destroy my career. So it was very, very strange that there are people who, like Vosh, for instance, or you can go on, I think, White Nervosa's site, because White Leaf was the side label project that they made. When you go to when you look at all these people that were trying to destroy me, all these socialists, all these far-left commies, all of these people were using a forked version of my site. And it's like, what? So I was like, I don't know, why even, guys? No. Something fun I see Hasan do is whenever he agrees, he claims the take and says, I've always said this, or an intern over there probably watches me as though he is ground zero for 95% of political takes. Nice. I think originally our idea was to license out the website to people and let Cake and Jitter manage it, but we all remember how that went. Oh yeah, because Mr. Girl was our ground zero test for that. Also, software as a service and all that is not worth it. That's not funny. Fuck that. Isn't that the communist way, though? Use the resources given to them for free and then immediately bite the hand that fed you. True. Mr. Girl's website is still up. Yeah, I think, but that runs like as is now. I don't think we provide any active support for that at all. Do you think the Dan Crusade is going to get you unbanned? Probably not. I don't think that ever should have been the goal or ever should have been tied to it. Again, I'll say for the 50 quadrillionth time, my main irritation is not that I'm banned from that site. That is a big personal irritation, of course. My main irritation is just that there is like radical terrorist propaganda that is sanctioned by Twitch, and then it's allowed to be spewed by Hasan, like basically unrestricted and unopposed, and then he gets to infect and indoctrinate normie audiences with it. I think it's incredibly destructive. I think it's really bad and really sad to see that happen. Yeah. That's why I said before, like, if these guys get banned and then they get unbanned and they don't get banned again because they avoid saying like all the insane shit they were saying before because they know they'll get banned for it, I consider that a W. That's a victory. That's good, because at least there's not as many people spewing as like insane shit on that site anymore. Do you feel like you bought into the progressive narrative too much from 2017 to 2019? No, I don't think so. I don't think I personally buy into it too much. I think the issue that I have, or the difficult thing to identify, is how do I identify people that are my allies and that know when to stop, or like that know where to draw the line? That's the difficult part, because most of the stuff that I said back then, and you can hear it today, like depending on who I'm debating or who I'm talking to, like I'll have very, very, very progressive takes, but it's just some people just take it way too far, and I don't know how to get people to chill. Do you think that Hasan is anti-Semitic? The challenging thing about anti-Semitism is that, and I can speak like a progressive language here actually, is that some things in practice are indistinguishable from other things in theory. So in practice, being anti-Zionist will end up looking the way that Hasan and his terrorist supporting friends all of them do their anti-Zionism. Their anti-Zionism in practice is indistinguishable from anti-Semitism. Hasan is indistinguishable from an anti-Semite in terms of like all the things that he advocates for and like the groups and the people that he supports. So then if the question is like, well, do you think he's really anti-Semitic? I don't know. I don't think Trump is really racist. But does that matter when we're looking at the effects or the impacts of people's actions? Well, progressives would generally say no. It doesn't matter if you're actually racist. It doesn't matter if you're actually whatever. What matters is like the subjective impact you have on other people, right? If I'm going to call people, slurs, but personally, I'm not trying to be racist, like a progressive would tell you, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. What matters is how those other people perceive the language you're using. And it's like, oh, okay. So do you even want to get unbanned on Twitch anymore? It feels like it would negatively impact your stream with the I don't know if I would stream on Twitch, but it'd be nice to be able to talk to people on Twitch and have those relationships again. Yeah. I love Ryan Macbeth, okay? Lycan and Kyla wanted to do an episode because Ryan Macbeth wanted to smoke cigars in here, and they were like, the only way we can do it is if we have a filter to filter out the smoke. And this thing, when you turn it on, I'm like, bro, what the f guys? This is so loud. We're never doing this. Is it more stressful to be in a state of mind with unsettling knowledge or to be cautiously skeptical but good faith? I don't know. It depends on the thing. Hasan is leaning into the far-right Arab identity politics, which makes the left useful idiots for far-right Islamists. While that's true, the thing is, and I really got this through the years of Arafat and the Soviet Union. And I'll stress this. I never know when people think I'm like exaggerating or not. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Palestinians learned to speak the language of the Soviet Union and of the far left a long time ago, and they do it really well. They do it incredibly well. There's a reason why they started making comparisons to the French in Algeria, the occupation there, and then after that to the occupation, not the occupation, the apartheid in South Africa. These things were not things that people around the world observed and they were like, wow, this kind of looks similar. These were intentional tactics that were deployed by Palestinian advocates in order to get more attention to their cause, which isn't even necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying that that's like illegitimate to do that. I'm just saying they're very good at propagandizing to Western audiences. So, yeah. But it's very eye-rolling, I think, when I hear people like, apartheid is about like racial domination. How do you explain 2 million Arab Palestinians? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And people are like, Palestinians aren't allowed to do X, Y, Z. No, non-citizens of Israel aren't allowed to do X, Y, and Z. What are you talking about? That's not even that abnormal. Usually non-citizens aren't allowed to do a whole bunch of things in normal countries. That's how almost every country in the world works. But also, yeah, the occupation is bad, and that has to get figured out, but nobody can even engage with the reality of the situation, so how the fuck are you going to make any progress or headway in figuring it out? I think their argument is apartheid isn't in Israel proper, but in the West Bank. Yeah, but it's occupied territory. It's not apartheid. It's about a military occupation, which is not really apartheid. It's just, if you want to like analyze it through that lens, or if you want to like kind of view it that way, like you can. But the problem then is that you can't really solve the problem looking at it through that lens, because like apartheid means that you have a country that is racially dominating certain groups or racially segregating certain groups of citizens. So the way that you solve that is to make the nation stop doing that. You need to get rid of those laws. But the problem is that the reason why there's such stark differences between the West Bank, Gaza, and then Israel proper is because it's occupied territory. That has to be solved. Once that's solved, everything is fixed. But focusing on like, you're not going to get anywhere fixating on the apartheid stuff. What is this shit? What is it? It's trash. What keeps you sane right now? I see you struggling with current conservative brain rot. I don't know. Dummy a lot of time out of the studio has been fun. What keeps me sane? Probably also that the election is close by. And the election being close by means it will be over this hump soon. And then, I don't know what we'll do after that. There definitely are subtle racial elements to it. Arab Israelis are almost always prohibited from settling in the West Bank. Less than 1% of the settlers in the West Bank are Israeli Arabs. Maybe I'd have to dig into that. It wouldn't surprise me if there are. It wouldn't surprise me if there were like some racially discriminatory things in Israel. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I would never like out of hand dismiss that. However, racial discrimination is not apartheid, right? And I think I've had debates with some people where we've talked about where they start talking about like this is apartheid because of all these racial discrimination. It's like, wait, hold on. Well, no, actually, I'm sorry. What am I even saying? We've already gotten through this whole conversation because I'll say, like, do you think that racial discrimination is apartheid? But then I remember Muin Rabbani did that. He was like, I heard you say that Jim Crow wasn't apartheid. I was like, no, it wasn't. It's not. It's obviously not. It's clearly not. But I guess in their mind, they want to say every single form of racial discrimination is apartheid. And it's like, okay, well, this is retarded. Do we keep this? I don't like having random dumb shit like this in the studio, but people play these games. How do you respond to the argument that Israel purposely wants a majority Jewish population in regards to being Israeli/non-Israeli? They do. Israel does explicitly want a majority Jewish population, of course. The problem is that ethnicity and nationality they're difficult things to analyze from a Western perspective because, well, especially from an American perspective, because we're incredibly multi-ethnic. Although even in the United States, we cap immigration from different countries. Like I think it's 7%, no more than 7% of our immigrants legally that come here per year can come from any individual country. It has to be split up that way. Now, obviously for Israel, they want to have an explicitly Jewish majority. But I think one of the issues too that people don't appreciate, or they don't give a fuck about it, whatever, is the Israeli ethnic minority feels like if they are the ethnic population of Israel, the Jews feel like if they become an ethnic minority, that they will be eradicated, which there's arguably historical precedence for. So, isn't it crazy that the North Koreans are fighting in Ukraine? Yeah, they're all over there, battling it out. What is the distinction between anti-Semitism and Islamophobia? Why is one okay? Because generally anti-Semitism refers to a hatred of, this is not American, is it? Of the Jewish ethnic group. And Islamophobia can refer to a disdain for the religion, although oftentimes people that are Islamophobic just hate Muslims or Arabs. So I mean, it could be used the same way, but like anti-Semitism explicitly refers to being opposed to the Jewish people, not just the religion. I'm never using any of these chargers, right? I should just throw all this shit away. How do you feel on Kamala's chances, given every major poll has Trump in the lead by huge margins, and then Polymarket has him at 70%? I don't know. Nice troll. I feel like people should just accept his win at this point. I actually agree with you. If I was a conservative, I wouldn't even waste my time voting. I feel like Trump is basically completely won. I don't even think I would go, because it's like, what's the point, right? Do you think a place like Polymarket are being used as political propaganda to obscure where the majority lies? Yeah, of course. Everything on the internet right now is being used like propagandized because Elon Musk is basically greenlit like tech billionaires to basically use and abuse their platforms however they want. But remember, conservatives have lied to their audiences and told them that the left has been doing it for years. So why wouldn't they do it, right? Yeah. When you say the Jewish ethnicity is diverse, though, historically they've been Persian, Slavic, white, Arab, etc. So what is the goal in asking that question? Do you think that people that are anti-Semitic care? I don't know why you would ask me that question. Why are tech bros going MAGA? I don't know. It's this phenomenon I would need to study more. Tech and crypto bros are going MAGA because Trump won't regulate all their companies. Yeah, maybe like that because they're worried about fucking crypto regulation or some stupid shit like that. Yeah. Did you see Devin being weirded out by Dan? I didn't watch a lot of the stream, but I was like cleaning all this shit up. But also, yeah, Dan went a little hard. Hey, listen, it's Dan's crusade. It's a man on a mission.